Hi, it's Karen here. Welcome to another day in our 24 days of tags for this year 2020. Here I've got something slightly different in terms of colourways for me, something a bit muted, but what I wanted to show you with this texture that we could get with a stencil and some water. So, as always, my tag is 6.5 centimetres by 12.5 centimetres. The die cut that I'm using here is from Lawn Fawn. It says Joy, and I've just die cut it with a piece of silver card. The colours that I'm going to be using are some of my favourite colours. I've got Twisted Citron, Salty Ocean, Blueprint Sketch and Black Soot. I did have a go with it using exactly the same colours, but I put more blue at the top, so you can see by changing the colourway ever so slightly, you get a completely different look. So we'll get started. These are the blending tools that I'm using. I've got one for the greens, the two blues I'm using with the same blending sponge, and then one for my black. As always, I'm going to be using a piece of photocopy paper or white paper so that I don't get ink where I didn't want it. And as always, starting off the card in a circular motion. You do not have to be too careful with this one. We're just applying some ink along the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate with the blues and the black all around the tag. So you can see as I blended, I went back and forth with my different colours to blend it out. It doesn't have to be a super smooth blend at all, because we are going to take a stencil, and here I've got one from Lavinia Stamps. This one's from their new ones called Glory. I just love it. And I'm going to take my little water bottle and spritz the top of the stencil. What you want here is you want a stencil that's not too open, and particularly because we're working on tags, you don't want it too tight, too small either. So I'm going to pick up my stencil. This is my water side, clean my worktop, bring my tag back in, and I'm going to pop. I'm just going to make sure that my stencil is not dripping with water. Otherwise you'll end up with a smushed mess and not some of the detail that we're after. I am placing my stencil face down onto the tag, so with the water onto the tag. So I'm using a kitchen towel to absorb some of the water in between the crevices in the stencil. And then I'm just going to blot it again. And there you have that fabulous texture in the stencil and on your tag. Now, depending on how much blue, the bright blue you've put in, this is what I had before, so obviously I had blended a bit more black into it, but I quite like, as you know, blue would be my favourite colour, so that's why you've got a bit more blue on the tag. I'm just going to give it a blast with a heat gun. So my goal for this year when I was doing this tag series for you was to create a different set of tags so that you could look back at them and look at the different techniques and perhaps use them on cards and on other projects throughout the year. Or you could just give them away. Some of them are not that Christmassy, but as I say, my personal intention for this was to create a suite of tags and techniques that you could refer to at other times. So I'm just going to stick my die cut onto my tag now. And you can see I hole punched it as well. So there we have our little joy tag using that fabulous water spritz technique over the stencils. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love to see what you create. See you again tomorrow. Bye.